Hello class, so we'll be looking at solving questions involving logarithm. Now, I was given this question, two questions actually, by a student of mine, and I would like to just solve it so that everybody can also benefit out of it. So we have find the values of x if log x squared plus 9 minus 2 log x is equal to 1. So while solving this question, I'll be stating some rules in logarithm that you need to take cognizance of if you're to solve problems involving logarithm effectively. And also look at here, we have our options given a, b, c, d to e. We have it in two values for each option. Now, something must come to your mind, because when solving a question, please already envision what you're going to anticipate. That's the kind of problems you will anticipate while solving that initial problem is given to you. And if you understand where you will hit, as milestones you will hit, then you know what you're looking out for at the end. Now, let me show you number one milestone you're supposed to look at. Your final values are meant to be two answers, right? And that should already trigger in your mind what? Quadratic equation. So because quadratic equations are basically those equations that will always give you two values for your x, right? Okay, so that's the first part. This is a milestone you are looking out for, so you know that whatever you are solving, put it in mind that if that solution does not end at having a quadratic equation where you can solve, then you are doing something wrong. So if I keep on solving and then I don't finally develop a quadratic equation out of my solving, then I know that I'm just doing something wrong somewhere. That's the first milestone. Second milestone is this, and this one is if you understand logarithm very well. Notice something: every logarithm must have a base. Logarithms are always of the form of what? Log a raised power of an n base b. These are always the general. This is always how a logarithm appears. Now it must always have a base, but notice something here. There is no base in this question. The base are all invisible. So if the base is invisible, then know something. This is what they call a common logarithm. It's called a common logarithm. A common logarithm is a logarithm of base what? Base 10. It's called common because this is what we use every day. Is a logarithm of base 10. So we know that the base we are working with here is actually what? Base 10 and base 10. So these are the two major milestones, because this is very important to understand this, and once you understand this, then you know how to approach your question. So the next part is that you need to also have a very good understanding of the rules of logarithm. That's the laws guiding logarithm actually. So the two laws I know will apply here is, let me just put out the law. We'll apply the law of change of power. That's the kind of change of power law we have. So if we have log a raised power n base b, you can also write it as what? Your power being the multiplying factor of your base, log a base b. This is the first law we'll also apply. We'll apply this law, and we'll also apply this other law, which tells us that whenever log a base b is adding another log, let's call it z base b, since their bases are the same, then you multiply the logarithm. So it will be log still base b, but a is multiplying z, and when the subtraction, then it becomes log a base b minus log z base b, and then you do what? In subtraction, you do what? You divide to be a over z base b. So these two laws, especially this law and this law will be in effect in solving our first question. So now I think we can boldly say we are good to go. So let's solve this question. I'll write it out: log x squared plus 9 minus 2 log x is equal to 1. In solving this, we have that that for this part here, we're going to apply the law I just showed you, this one, and that will become what? We have log x squared plus 9 minus what? Log x raised power 2 is equal to 1, because like I told you, it's both ways. So I took my n, which is the multiplying factor, and I made it the exponential factor. Next thing I do again is, since I have a negative sign and my bases are the same, I do what? I divide. So it becomes log x squared plus 9 over x squared, all equal to 1. Okay, and then there's one law I didn't show you, which is for this value of 1. Whenever you have something equal to 1, there is an identity logarithm that tells us that log a base a is equal to what? 1. That's and once your number and the logarithm are this, once your number and the base are the same, then it's also going to give you 1. So I can just in that vein write that this is like, say, multiplied by what? Log 10. Since I'm working with base 10, log 10 base 10, because log 10 base 10 will give me 1, and 1 times 1 is still 1, so I still will get back this value. So going ahead to solve, I have that log x squared plus 9 over x squared is equal to log 10 base 10. I can decide not to put this base 10 because I know I'm working in a common logarithm, so just putting log 10 is the same thing as saying log 10 base 10. Now, since I have this now known, the next thing I can do is that I can cancel out this logarithm, since I know that this logarithm here and this logarithm here can cancel out. Now notice something, I didn't cancel out until I have made sure that it was only just one single value in the left hand side and one other single value in the right hand side. At this stage where there were two values, I could not cancel out, but when I make it one single value and one single value, then I can finally cancel out. This is the mistake many students make. They have not made it a singular value at each side before they start cancelling out, and that will give you a wrong answer at the end. Okay, so now I can proceed to solving. So now I have finally eliminated my logarithm out of the equation, and I have just x squared plus 9 over x squared is equal to 10. Cross multiply, I have x squared plus 9 is equal to 10x squared, and then I can take everything over to this side, and that is 10x squared minus x squared plus 9 is equal to 0. Sorry, minus 9 will be equal to 0, since I've taken everything over to the other side of the equation. And what do I have next? I have that 10x squared minus x squared will give me 9x squared minus 9 is equal to 0. I can factor out 9, and that will be 9 bracket x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. And then I can divide through by that same 9, and dividing through by 9 will eliminate my 9 out and also eliminate it here, and that will give us, because 0 divided by 9 is 9, so that will give me what? Sorry, 0 divided by 9 is 0, if I say something very wrong, and that will give me x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. And then what's the next thing I do? I can take my minus 1 over to this side, and because I'm looking for the value of x, so x squared is equal to 1, and then I can find the square root of both sides, and x is equal to, remember, you bring your plus or minus 1, and what do I have at the end? I have this as what? Because the square root of 1 is what? Is still 1, and therefore this is plus or minus 1, which is having 1 or negative 1. So let's look at our options we're given to see. Okay, we see that the answer is actually in the D part, which is what? 1 or negative 1. So that's the first one answered. Let's look at the next question. The next question is to simplify. Now we have to simplify log 27 plus log 8 minus this and that and that and that. Okay, so let's look at how to approach the question. Approaching this, we have, let's first write it out here, log 27 plus log 8 minus log 125 over log 6 minus log 5. In solving this question, the first thing I'm going to do is that I will try not to solve it the way it's appearing. I'll try to first of all break it apart. So this division sign, let's break it apart. Let's take it separately. So this will become log 27 plus log 8 minus log 125 divided by log 6 minus log 5. Now this will help us to solve it. It will help us to simplify our solving. Now remember, addition, when you have the same base and we are working in a common logarithm, addition is going to be what? Multiplication, and subtraction is what? Division. So that will become what? Log 27 multiplying 8 and all divided by what? 125. And here will also be what? Log 6 divided by what? 5. So what do I have next? The next thing I have here will be what? 27 times 8. What is 27 times 8? We have it as what? 216. 216. Now I don't need to divide it by 125 because I know it won't even divide, and it is not divisible by 125, so I'll leave it that way. And we have log 6 over 5. So what's the next thing again I can see happening here? I can see that I can bring out a common exponent between these two values, and what the exponent is 3, because if I find the cube root of 216, it's actually going to give me 6. If I find the cube root of 125, is what? 5. So I know that here is like writing 6 raised to the power 3, 5 raised to the power 3 divided by log 6 over 5. So solving this, we have log 6 over 5 all raised to the power of 3 divided by log 6 over 5. And then this is like saying 3. Remember the law I used, the exponent becomes a multiplying factor. 3 log 6 over 5 divided by log 6 over 5. Now what happens is, 6 over 5, since you're saying that they are the same logarithm now, therefore, and they're dividing each other, therefore they can cancel out because it divides each other into 1, and that's like saying 3 divided by 1, which is still equal to what? 3. So the answer is what? 3. So we look what we have our 3 here in the C parts. So this is just the answer to this question. You can drop in your other questions as well, and I will see to it that we try to solve it as best as we can. Okay, see you in the next class.